What is going on, guys? MG2005 Gunner here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys the Q&A and reading comments 4,000 subscriber special video. But before I begin, I want to thank you guys so much for not only your continuous support, but also the understanding and compassion you lot expressed during my identity crisis on the platform. Thank you all for liking and supporting the new reveal style and showing me support and compassion throughout my darkest times. You lots are the real MVP for letting me reach 4,000 subscribers, so I really just cannot thank you enough. And here is to another 1,000 subs and beyond. But without further ado, let's get right into the comments. Starting with the community post, a lot of you guys have been congratulating me for hitting the 4,000 subscriber milestone, so once again, thank you all so much. And let's start with the oldest comments first. Rensbla1234 asks, "Can I ask what's your first name?" Actually, I'm a little bit uncomfortable sharing that personal information on the internet. I thought it was nothing back in the day, and well, I didn't go through with it at the very end, unless you are somebody who chats with me all the time. But I'm gonna let you in on this. It starts with an H and it's from mythology, so you figure it out and contact me if you have figured it out. I'm not gonna let my name go out on the internet at least anytime soon. Until I hit Zaku Aurealis' level, then I may make up a pseudonym out of a real name for myself. I don't know. PR4Abot asks, "What got you into Gunpla?" Well, it's kind of a stumble into Gunpla, per se. I did mention in my stream that I walked in on my brother watching Gundam Age, especially the last few episodes, and then a few days later, I remember my dad actually bought him the Gundam H2 high grade, the H2 normal, because he wanted the HFX. It was out of stock. The next best thing that they found was the Gundam H2 normal. They built it together. I joined in on the fun, lent a hand, and then the next occasion was the Gundam H2 orbital for me and the Gundam X for my brother. And ever since that, we've been so into Gunpla. We really like the satisfaction of actually finishing building a model and showing it off to whoever I could show it off to. For example, my parents back in the day when I finished building the Gundam H3 orbital, which I then destroyed because I thought it was a action figure that only required assembly, nothing else. I never really realized that model kits were so brittle. But anyways, that is basically how I stumbled into Gunpla. And back then I had limited permission to buy Gunpla. I actually had to ask my dad to give me permission and also the funds to get the high grade XCI Dark Banner when it first came out. But that's a story for another day. Changzuka asks, "What's your favorite kit and why?" Now, even though my collection was a handful compared to some of the other reviewers out there who literally have rooms full of them, my favorite kit is kind of hard to pin down. I would actually go for the real grade Unicorn Gundam. Not so much its variants, of course. Well, aesthetically, I do like the Fennec the most, but the one kit that I remember fondly, not only because of the view counts, it was still the most popular video on my channel, but because of the wow factor that it brought me. Everybody was so cynical about the real grade Unicorn Gundam back when it was first announced, because it's just going to be another master grade, it's going to be a hand grenade. Time does actually degrade the plastic, so it is kind of a hand grenade after it was displayed for quite a long time. But when it was initially freshly built, I know it does have its flaws. It was overly tight, which then the other Unicorn variants actually did solve. But the wow factor is how they implemented the transformation mechanics so seamlessly and so sturdily. I don't know if that's a word, but it's the mechanics. They were implemented very well, and the kit didn't fall to pieces during that. Albeit, yes, there are a few pieces that you need to take off in order to execute the transformation. For example, the clip that was in the rear of the abdomen when you need to extend it. So, yeah, that's the only few pieces that you have to take off. But other than that, the real grade Unicorn is not necessarily my favorite, but it was the one that blew me away the most. Hopefully, the High New Gundam has what it takes to top it. The next one is more of a statement than a question. Revan R says, "Let's see if you can reach 100,000 subs." Now, I am glad, like genuinely, I'm very glad that some people see that potential in me, especially when I talked to Hobby Clubhouse about shaking the thought, because, like, to me, immediately, unrealistic goals, especially with variables outside of my control, demotivate me. So I really want to shake that thought, focus on what I'm doing. Whatever videos I could bring, I'm gonna try my best to bring like the best quality reviews that I could, especially because I'm still using my bedroom booth instead of a professional setup like everybody else. So I'm doing what I can, but frankly, the first thought, like, because I'm still a bit of a pessimist, the first thought that came into me is that there's no way I'm gonna reach 100,000 subs. I only reached 4,000 subs in 8.5 years, I believe. So there's literally no way in my mind that I'm gonna hit 100,000 subs anytime soon. But I'm glad you see the potential in me. Thank you, Revan. So if you guys had shared the same thought, I don't know. I really hate doing this, like trying to push you guys to give the support. Like, I really hate doing that because I want it to come naturally to people, because I really don't want to feel like I'm forcing people to be obliged, like have people feel obliged to support me. But if you want to see the potential brought out in me, like, okay, and if the growth pace of the channel accelerates later down the line, just stating what could happen, like a what if situation, then maybe we would see me hit 100,000 subs. But thank you, Revan, for seeing that potential in me, and I really hope to see it brought out if the algorithm doesn't screw with me. Zachriel011 asks, what do you think of the 30-minute Sisters kits, and are you thinking of reviewing them at some point? Now, the 30-minute Sisters kits are kind of a mixed bag in my opinion, because they're bringing mecha girls into the 30-minute missions line and offering them at a very cheap price. Some of them very revealing and kind of suggestive in my opinion. So I don't think I'm going to be reviewing the 30-minute Sisters kits anytime soon. First of all, because of what I just said. Second of all, because I like uniformity. Like, the reasons I bought the Mobile Doll Sarah and Mobile Doll May is because they are supposed to be mobile suits. So they fit into the robotic collection that is, the majority of it, Gundams. That's why I bought them for reviews, and I do see the flaws of plastic model girls in which they can kind of look awkward at some poses because, especially, their skin is not flexible. So I don't think I will be reviewing the 30-minute Sisters kits, but for those who like it, they could be good. I just don't know. But in terms of me reviewing them, I don't really want to clutter out my collection with stuff I don't necessarily like, especially because the plan to move to the UK is 100% confirmed by now. So yeah, I don't want to add too much to it, so I apologize. But maybe when I move to the UK, when I have a bigger room and a change of heart and more cabinets to place my model kit collection, maybe, who knows. And finally for this post, ShotWhat32 asks, outside of Gunpla, do you have any other hobbies? Now personally, I don't count video games as a hobby just because it is just more of an indulgence and a way to kill time and relax yourself. But in terms of hobbies, what I think might count is my paintings, because I do go to art classes every Friday, although yes, I'm a little bit begrudging to go there every Friday evening, but the final result is a very good art piece of a Gundam. Now, because I detach myself from the normal curriculum, the instructor is nice enough to let me do that, so on top of letting me paint the Gundams, I would ask for a background and learn the art techniques there. Like, recently, I've been doing an art piece that uses kind of like a water wash technique. I don't know the specific English name of the technique, but it's basically involving using like one select color of acrylic, painting it on the canvas, and then immediately going to another color and painting over the existing color while it's wet, so that kind of creates kind of like a gradient effect on the canvas. Now, I haven't mastered this technique yet. I still have kind of like a border between the two colors, but I'm working on it. But overall, I feel like painting, like not Zentangles. Zentangles stress me out a hell of a lot, but any drawing or any painting, any art form apart from Zentangles are probably what I would consider my other hobby. And since this is also a reading comments video, I have selected 3 videos that I want to read the comments from. First of all, one comment from Paolo Antonio Lomatan. I'm sorry for butchering your name there. But here we go. He says, I can see the improvements over the old review format. Good job on that, bro. Yes, I do see that too. I find it kind of hard to watch my previous videos, but they're still not irrelevant if you want information. I have a question. Do you think the drum frame on this would be able to hold the weight of the TR6 Barzam 2, the one you kit bash in the video, or for that matter, can the non-P-Bandai version do it as well? Now, I did reply to this comment personally, but I would want to readdress this in this video just so more people, especially that of the Advanced Zeta category, would know. So basically, the drum frame of the TR6 Woundwort will not be stable enough to hold up any weight of any form, not unless they actually use the T-bar, which is what they used in the TR6 Kahar 2, which is what made the Kahar 2 so stable in the first place. It doesn't have any shoulder articulation, it only has the rotation in the arms, it doesn't have any waist articulation, but at the cost of that, the complete frame, the drum frame, is 1,000,000 times more stable, or else it would not have a hope in hell in handling the Kahar equipment. And the normal Barzam that was released into the standard market, and for that matter the Weiss Barzam that was in Bullfighter's Battlelog, will not be able to be dismantled and assembled onto the TR6 because their build structure is completely different from the P-Bandai version, so you cannot make a TR6 Barzam 2 with the normal Barzam proportions. So hopefully they will make a TR6 Barzam 2 in the future, or maybe the refined Barzam for those of you who want it, but it's still not out of the question. Onion Ring with Venti as their profile picture. That means a lot to me. But for those of you who have played Genshin, you know who it is. And some other reviewers must not even build the kits they review, because it's not the first Advanced Zeta Hybrid Barzam review I've watched, but it's the first I've ever watched to show the basket moving more than 3mm. I don't know how people could get stuck. Like, I know the basket could get stuck on the clip. That's what I mentioned in the review. It's a consistent problem and it's worth solving, but how could they have not understood what was going on there? Like, if you move the vent on the basket, which is also on a clip joint that is loosely held, they could have moved the basket a full 90 degrees up. I don't know, but there are quite a bit of reviewers who just skimp over the necessary details, chief among which has the initials MGK. Finally, for this video, Alistair Rock says, I may not be correct, but I think the things on the legs are electromagnetic shield things from the V8 or the Mercurius. Well, no, the V8 doesn't have that, but the Mercurius actually has those planet defenders. So those basically block beams from electromagnets, I believe. I've heard quite a bit of people say that the discs on the thighs of the TR6 Barzam 2 are actually like eye field cadavers, or basically what you said, the basically working the same way as the planet defenders of the Mercurius. So it's still murky water, because Advanced Zeta, especially Reboot, that takes place after Zeta Gundam, mind you, is still rather murky in terms of its history. Like barely any of the designs have their own wiki pages to at least describe what it has on a basic level, so it's still rather unclear, but that's the most likely option, that the discs on the thighs of the TR6 Barzam 2 are actually Planet Defender lookalikes. And moving on to the Corgolan Compilation video, because this is most unexpected for me. Like, a lot of you guys have been thanking me and liking the video. Like, I really do want to thank you guys for that. I never expected that to do good at all. I never expected it to do well, because the Core Gundam craze has died down unless you're a die-hard fan of the Core Gundam. And it's the entire video is basically me just talking and talking over the footage of basically 9 different iterations of a specific armor. Well, 18 if you count for the the on-rise armor. And basically the reason that it took so long, like as LaserGator 101 said, after 5,000 years it's here. Yep. It's rather funny because the reason that it took so long is not because of the footage. I had that done in February. The reason that it took so long is that I have to cover the songs, like the background music. Of course, well, the Hatana cover is not from me. I credited in the description, but the Build Divers and the Re-Rise theme were my own covers. That's what held this video back from being released earlier. And there was some trouble that I ran into for this video because I specifically made those covers to get around copyright, and for some reason YouTube has copyright claimed the Re-Rise segment because it says it has the melody of the actual track, but they recognize it as a cover, so they allowed me to share the income with the distributor. Obviously I wasn't going to stand for that because it was my own cover, and there are millions upon billions of music covers that sound similar or exactly the same as the original, and those got away with it. So it's ridiculous. It's just a bunch of faff in the middle. But thankfully I was able to get away with it by lowering the volume to which point it only barely existed. So thank God I got away with it, and thank God it was worth the effort. And the other specific comment that I want to address is a comment from L39 at 8 minutes and 58 seconds. It's a good thing Alice's AI got faulty enough to prevent him from thinking about stealing parts from Hero to Steam, or else there would be a downer ending with him instantly KOing the servers. If only, like, I know, him jacking the re-rising armor is definitely gonna be catastrophic, but there's always a what-if situation where Alice completely jacks the re-rising Gundam and took the parts for himself, so I wonder what could have happened then. And going back to my Iron Blooded Orphans 5th anniversary stream recap video, a lot of you guys have been discussing over the months that you guys would like to see a prequel to Iron Blooded Orphans featuring the Calamity War. Now I do agree, like I do understand where you guys are coming from, being a fan of Iron Blooded Orphans myself, and yeah, I really would agree that the Calamity War would be interesting to see because we don't know what the hell that is. We only got a taste of it when the Hashmal fought the Gundam Barbatos Lupus. Now, which brings me to a comment that was posted this morning. Alex Revolt asks, is there any new news about this? Really bummed out that I haven't seen anything new. The Calamity War sounds good to watch or read. I was hyped if the mobile game would come out in the UK with it adding lore or some kind of stuff with the IBO universe. Now, I hate to say that there is no news about the mobile game ever since March of this year. What the IBO Twitter has devolved into is basically daily or non-regular comic strips that you may still find on American newspapers. So the latest news that they have was posting about the screenshots of the Hajiroboshi in the first encounter. And what I'm happy to say is they are actually bringing in more of the Gecko suits into the game. For example, the Gundam Gremory is going to be in the game, which I'm very happy for. But there are some concept art that one person has tweeted to me. I forgot who. Is it PR4? But there is some concept art that one person has tweeted me for the actual original story of Uruzu Hunt. I really want to see that coming to fruition, and if they delay it any further, I fear this game might just be outright cancelled. It's been 3 years, I believe a little bit over or under 3 years since it was first announced with the animated trailer, but still, all we have seen is the RPG turn-based mechanics that was shown off in the 5th anniversary stream, and that was last October. So I really don't know. Hopefully they will come up with more news in October. I really hope this project isn't really cancelled for good just because they released the model kit, the Hajiroboshi, and the Marcosius, and they really teased us with a lot of stuff. They have the basic premise of it ready. It's been in development for a long time, so I really hope they will get it done soon. But unfortunately, there is no new news about Uruzu's Hunt for now. So that basically wraps it up for this Q&A and reading comments special. I thank you guys so much for just listening to me ramble to whatever your comment has to ask. And yeah, thank you all so much for the support and the understanding and compassion. I really cannot thank you guys enough. So I know I can't toast because I don't drink, but let's toast to another 1,000 subs and beyond, and maybe eventually hitting 100,000 subs. I don't know, but let's toast to that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more Gunpla reviews, Gunpla news, and all that kind of stuff. Turn on notifications for future content alerts if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Hang loose and peace out.